Most heroes in anime beat their enemies with strength, willpower, or strategy. But Tanjiro from Demon Slayer is different. He fights with compassion, and not the weak kind of compassion that looks away from evil. I'm talking about the kind of compassion that coexists with strength, with boundaries, and with the willingness to do what has to be done. Today I want to break down how Tanjiro shows us that being kind isn't about being naive, and how his story inspires me to live the same way. In a world where people are capable of evil and cruelty, Tanjiro's journey begins in tragedy. His entire family is massacred by Muzan, and his sister Nezuko is turned into a demon. Most people would let hatred consume them, but Tanjiro doesn't. From episode 1, we see who he is. He's the boy that carried his sister on his back through the snow, refusing to abandon her, even after she tries to attack him. He begs Giyu, the water Hashira, to spare her life, and Giyu sees something in Tanjiro that's rare in a world built on killing demons. He sees compassion. Now here's the thing, Tanjiro doesn't just feel compassion, he practices it, even in battle. For example, in the final selection, the hand demon, after defeating him, Tanjiro doesn't spit on him, mock him, or walk away. He kneels down and mourns. He comforts the demon as it dies, recognizing that this demon was once a child too. That's empathy most people wouldn't even consider. Next up, we have the drum demon, Kyogai. Instead of mocking him for his weakness, Tanjiro respects his love for his art and literature, bowing after the fight. Who bows to their enemy in respect? Tanjiro does. Next up, we have Rei, the lower moon on Natagoma Mountain. His desire for fake family is twisted and cruel, but when Tanjiro lands the final blow, he doesn't just celebrate his victory, he grieves. He feels his loneliness and desire for bonds, even as he ends his life. And in Rei's final moments, Tanjiro's compassion allows Rei to die peacefully, imagining himself reunited with his parents. And the scene makes it clear, Tanjiro doesn't just kill demons, he saves what little humanity is left inside of them. But the thing about Tanjiro that I really love is about his compassion with boundaries. It doesn't show that he is soft, or being stepped on, or walked over. He knows where to draw the line. Take Unmu, the lower moon who attacked the Mugen train. He had no shred of humanity left. He laughed while devouring innocent people's lives and dreams, and Tanjiro just cut him down without hesitation. Or even Daki and Gyutaro from the entertainment district. He fought them with everything he had because he knew if they lived, more innocents would suffer. Yet when they died, he still showed respect. He even stopped Zenitsu and Inosuke from insulting them, telling them to recognize the pain and tragedy that created these demons. That's boundaries. He eliminates threats, but refuses to let hatred corrupt his soul. You know, one of the most underrated things about Tanjiro is how he deals with what society calls as toxic masculinity. The constant pressure among men to prove who is stronger, tougher, or dominant. And what's fascinating is that Tanjiro doesn't play the game, and yet he always wins their respect. Let's start with Inosuke. Inosuke is the embodiment of pride and competitiveness. He's loud, impulsive, and obsessed with being seen as the strongest. But instead of fighting ego with ego, Tanjiro meets him with understanding. When Inosuke yells or brags, Tanjiro doesn't just try to outshine him, he compliments him. He hypes him up and says things like, "Wow, Inosuke, that was amazing, and your instinct saved us back there." And what's brilliant is, that diffuses Inosuke's need to dominate. It transforms rivalry into brotherhood, which benefits the situation. Tanjiro does stroke his ego, yes, but not manipulatively. He does it to bring out the best in him, not to control him. And because of that, Inosuke starts fighting with Tanjiro, not against him. And then there's Genya. His entire arc is about insecurity and inferiority. He's always shouting not to help him, and he'll do it himself. And what does Tanjiro do? He doesn't respond with anger or mockery. He says, "Okay, I'll make it happen." That single line disarms Genya completely because Tanjiro isn't threatened by another man's ambition, he supports it. That's a sign of strength most men struggle to embody. He shows us that real strength is secure enough to lift others up instead of competing for the spotlight. And finally, Giyu. During the Hashira training arc, Giyu isolates himself, convinced that no one understands him, burdened by guilt over Sabito's death. Everyone leaves him alone, but guess who doesn't? He keeps showing up, patiently, kindly, without forcing it, and eventually, Giyu opens up. Not because Tanjiro pushed, but because Tanjiro's warmth melted walls that brute force never could. And in these three moments of Inosuke, Genya, and Giyu are the blueprint for emotionally intelligent masculinity. He leads without ego, listens before he speaks, and encourages instead of competing. He knows that respect isn't earned through dominance, it's earned through integrity, competence, and emotional maturity. And that last part really matters because one of the biggest reasons why Tanjiro can act like the way he is and still gain respect is because he's good in what he does. You might say plot armor and whatever, and he's the main character, but if you are skilled in something, no one can deny you. No matter how irritating you are or whatever, no one can deny you. He's skilled, disciplined, and dependable. When he says he'll help, people listen because he's shown that he can deliver. If Tanjiro were weak or unreliable, his compassion would come off as pity. But because he's proven in battle, because he executes under pressure, his kindness carries authority. That's why the three of them eventually respect him. It's not just what he says, but how he backs it up. Alright, so how can we apply the things that Tanjiro does into our daily lives? Number 1, empathy first. Try to understand everyone, no matter how irritating they are, or unreasonable, or even your enemies. Try to get a different perspective of them, see where they're coming from, but don't let it corrupt your mindset. Number 2, back up your strength with discipline. He trains relentlessly, hard, through the grind, but also smartly. He's not compassionate because he's weak, he's compassionate because he's strong enough to be. Number 3, emotional honesty. There's nothing wrong with showing emotions in front of who you love. He cries when he's sad, laughs when he's happy, gets angry when someone insults his sister, and he never stuffs it down. And the last one is to have an unshakable purpose. His mission has always been clear from the start. To turn his sister into human no matter what. To defeat Muzan and to preserve humanity. That purpose keeps his compassion sharp instead of naive. So in summary, see the human even in those who hurt you. Set boundaries, don't get stepped on or walked over. Train yourself in body and mind, and hold your purpose firm. Tanjiro isn't inspiring because he's the strongest. He's inspiring because he shows us a different kind of strength. One where you can face evil and still not lose your heart. And in a world where we can so easily get cynical and hard, we really need that lesson in our lives. We need to be strong enough to act and kind enough to stay human.